So now I'll open floor to you. I am done with my question. If you want to share some insights from your side, otherwise then we can move to Q&A session with the students. So guys, now we will be starting Q&A session. Students can raise their hand and they can ask their question. So first we have Hetvi asking some question.
नमस्ते सर. नमस्ते मैम.
नमस्ते सर. हाय.
Namaste.
बोलो Hetvi.
हाँ, I am in the last year of BCom. How start my preparation of UPSC? Basic क्या है?
So since you're in the last year right now, and have you prepared before, or are you just want to start fresh right now?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay.
I
So
believe
I
she's
think
starting fresh. Yes.
starting fresh. So there is a book list. You follow that, you do the basics, you do the static, everything right now, because अगर अभी current करने लगोगे कोई फायदा नहीं है. अगर एक साल बाद एग्जाम देना है सब बदल जाएगा. तो
Yes, ma'am.
बेसिक्स पे अभी फोकस करने का ज्यादा रेलेवेंस है. फोकस ऑन द बेसिक, स्टैटिक कर लो, नोट्स बना लो, उसको हल्का हल्का रिवाइज करना अगर टाइम मिले तो वो शुरू कर लो. एंड देन व्हेन योर बीकॉम इज ओवर, you revise whatever you've done, and then you start focusing more on the current part. So you would spend this 1 year solidifying your static. तो एकदम अच्छे से स्टैटिक हो जाएगा, उसका टेंशन नहीं रहेगा. तब यू कैन फोकस मोर ऑन योर करंट. तो दोनों का अच्छा कॉम्बिनेशन होके 1 साल और लेना पड़ेगा उसके बाद, एंड देन अटेम्प्ट द एग्जाम.
Yes, ma'am. And NCERT is very, very essential for UPSC. Without NCERT, can I clear?
You can clear without NCERT for except for some subjects. For geography you need to do it. तो होता क्या है ना, जो आप बेसिक बुक्स उठाते हो जो यूपीएससी की प्रिपरेशन के लिए ही आती हैं, जैसे स्पेक्ट्रम का वो पूरा जनरल नॉलेज मॉड्यूल आता है, एंड और भी जो बाकी बुक्स आती हैं या कोचिंग के नोट्स होते हैं, वो एनसीईआरटी में से फैक्ट्स ऑलरेडी कवर करके रखते हैं. तो ऐसा नहीं है कि कुछ मिस आउट हो रहा है. एनसीईआरटी का पॉइंट, एक्सेप्ट सम सब्जेक्ट्स लाइक ज्योग्राफी, एनसीईआरटी का मेन पॉइंट इज कि वो इन्फॉर्मेशन आपको थोड़े थोड़े पार्ट्स में स्लोली देता है, तो आपको एक पुश मिल जाता है, वो आपको अच्छी तरीके से समझ आने लगता है, रादर देन कि आप एक साथ बहुत सारे फैक्ट्स एक पैराग्राफ में पढ़ोगे या वो फैक्ट्स आप 4 पेजेस में पढ़ोगे, तो रिटेंशन का डिफरेंस होता है. आई थिंक इसलिए लोग बोलते हैं एनसीईआरटी पढ़ने के लिए. मैंने एनसीईआरटीज नहीं पढ़ी थी, क्योंकि इन्फॉर्मेशन सेम एनसीईआरटी वाला दूसरे सोर्सेस से मिलता है, डेफिनेटली मिलता है.
सर मैम ये पूछना चाहती हूँ कि मैं गुजराती लैंग्वेज में मेंस लिख सकती हूँ, मेंस के पेपर?
मुझे आइडिया नहीं है, आई एम सॉरी.
नहीं मैम, मैंने एनालिसिस किया है कि आपकी जो भी लैंग्वेज है उसमें आप लिख सकते हैं, लेकिन मेरा ये मानना है कि अगर मैंने मेरी रीजनल जो है गुजराती लैंग्वेज उसमें मैंने पेपर लिखे, ठीक है, तो फिर उसमें कोई बाइजिस तो नहीं होगे ना? मतलब पेपर चेकर ऐसा नहीं करेंगे ना कि मतलब गुजराती में लिखा है तो इसे ऐसा मतलब समझ गए आप?
नहीं, उससे कोई फर्क नहीं पड़ता, क्योंकि आपका पेपर भी जो चेक कर रहा होगा वो वही होगा जिसको गुजराती आती है.
हाँ.
तो वो अपनी लैंग्वेज के साथ ही क्यों बायस करेगा? ऐसा कोई बायस नहीं होता. जो लोगों को लगता है बायस होता है, वो उस केस में आता है कि जो मटेरियल अवेलेबल है वो इंग्लिश में अवेलेबल ज्यादा होता है, तो बाकी लैंग्वेजेस वालों को शायद उतना नॉलेज नहीं मिल पाता क्योंकि अवेलेबल नहीं होता उनकी लैंग्वेज में. एक यही इशू है, देयर इज नो बायस.
कि गुजराती नहीं सॉरी, इंग्लिश में प्रिपरेशन करते हैं और मेंस के जो पेपर है वो गुजराती में लिख सकते हैं.
हाँ, नो प्रॉब्लम.
ओके मैम.
Thank you, Hetvi. So we have a question with Abhrojit Mishra. Hi, Abhrojit. Good morning,
ma'am. Good afternoon, sir. Ma'am, first of all, it's an honor to talk to you while preparing for civil services itself. Ma'am, can you please suggest me your current affairs strategy? Like, is it the Hindu or is it the Indian Express? Is it the Yojana Kurukshetra or the monthly magazine at the end of the month? Like, what was your strategy?
Okay, so Yojana and Kurukshetra, there is no point reading it, because that information you will find somewhere or the other. So it is just a waste of time if you're devoting 1 hour a week to reading that. I used to reading the newspaper is very important, mainly from the mains point of view. It gives you a perspective to write the answers. You probably won't be able to extract too much facts or too much information from it, but you will have a general idea and an opinion. So when you're writing your mains answers, you would be able to form a good coherent answer. So that is the point of reading the newspaper. So in that case, you can pick either Hindu or Indian Express. Indian Express, there is this section called Explained. That is very good for factual things, because what technical things sometimes come up, they explain that very well, and that you can use. Monthly magazines are also very heavy, but it's important to go through them also. I did those. I used to read the newspaper, and then I used to do those magazines that came right at the end of the year with the whole year's news. Other than that, I used to follow certain YouTube channels online, which used to give questions every day, 5 questions based on the news. Then, if there is some important piece in the news, they would make a short 2-3 minute video on that, and I used to write down points from that.
Ma'am, actually, what strategy I am following now is I read the Hindu, and then I make notes from Civils Daily, and then I solve all the quizzes in Insights IAS and Civils Daily that they come with prelims daily. So is it fine, or on the daily basis, I think, or I need to add something else?
I think this is perfect. And in the end, you can read the whole 365, the concise 1 year thing for a quick revision to see if you missed out on anything. And I think that should be enough.
Ma'am, one last question. Ma'am, there is always a fear while reading current affairs that we will miss out something. We will miss out some small points from international affairs or national affairs. Was that the same thing with you also? And if there was, then how did you overcome that? The fear of left out something.
The fact is, you will leave things out. You can't know what is, because it is not about reading you can't read all the news, right? Other than that, you can't even say I will just read all the important news, because the paper setter, what's important for you is not important perhaps for the paper setter. So what he thinks is important, he'll put that. So you will definitely miss out on things. So there is no point fearing it and worrying about it. So you do what you're doing. That's the maximum you can do. There is no point wasting too much time worrying that I'll miss something. When you're doing test series, when you're doing the daily from Civils Daily, the news, the quiz, online videos, you will pick up things that you would have missed in the newspaper, and you will cover around 70-80% of all the relevant material. Those 30-20-30% nobody can account for. So that's something you shouldn't worry about.
Thank you very much.
Thank you, Swati. Thank you, Apurjit. Now we have a question from Abhishek Choksi.
Good afternoon, sir, and good afternoon, ma'am. Yes, sir. Actually, my question was kind of similar. Can we just rely on compilations for a current affairs preparation? 2 to 3 different compilations.
I said this earlier that don't read the same thing multiple times. So if you're reading 2-3 compilations, you're repeating the same information. So pick one compilation that you're comfortable with and just do that. Don't do it from multiple places.
Ma'am, actually,
secondly,
yes, ma'am. Actually, the same topic I'm not doing from same compilation. Some compilation used to have some different topic as well.
Okay, so as long as you're not repeating the same information, it's fine. You have to read the newspaper, but don't give it too much time. I know people spend 2 hours on the newspaper every day. I never read it for more than 30-45 minutes. So don't do that. Try to utilize the resources available online as well as you can, because if something is missing in the compilation, somebody else might have picked that up. But even in that, limit it. So if you're doing Civils Daily, if you're doing the current affairs daily from Civils Daily, stick to that, the newspaper, and then at the end of the month you can read the compilation. Other than that, I used to follow the YouTube channel Sleepy Classes. That helped me a lot. So that's also
I
something you
hope.
can do.
Yeah.
Ma'am, and your optional strategy?
What's your optional?
Ma'am, political science and IR.
Okay. Mine was economics. The difference was that I had studied economics for 5 years in my undergraduate and postgraduate. So I didn't need to do too much in that. But in optional, one thing that helped me a lot was, so in optional, what tends to happen is they repeat questions, they repeat topics. So you sit with the past 10 years and you figure out what are the topics that they will always ask, what are the topics they'll ask every other year, or every 3 years they will ask that. So you will have an idea that in my year, these questions or these topics might definitely come. So I did that, and I think I predicted about 70 to 80% of the question paper for my optional.
Oh, that's
Okay.
great.
Thank you, Swati. I believe, Abhishek, that answers your question.
Yes, sir.
Now we have a question from Vaishali Chauhan.
Hello.
Yes, Vaishali, go ahead.
Good afternoon, sir,
Good afternoon.
and good afternoon, ma'am. मैम
Good afternoon.
मेरा क्वेश्चन करंट अफेयर से रिलेटेड है एज आई एम रीडिंग न्यूज़पेपर सिंस 2-3 months बट आई हैवंट प्रिपेयर्ड एनी नोट्स. तो मुझे ये जानना है कि एडिटोरियल का मैम एडिटोरियल के नोट्स बनाने चाहिए कि नहीं.
आई डोंट थिंक इतना फायदा होता है न्यूज़पेपर से नोट्स बनाने का, क्योंकि एडिटोरियल से जो क्वेश्चंस आप आंसर कर पाओगे वो होंगे मेंस के क्वेश्चंस या फिर प्रीलिम्स में कुछ फैक्चुअल क्वेश्चंस. तो वो सब तो आप जब मेंस की तैयारी कर रहे हो आंसर राइटिंग की, तो आप उन टॉपिक्स के अक्रॉस आओगे और आप उन पे आंसर्स लिखोगे, प्रैक्टिस करोगे, नोट्स बनाओगे, ठीक है, फ्रॉम डिफरेंट सोर्सेज. क्योंकि किसी भी एडिटोरियल में आपको कंप्लीट यूपीएससी आंसर तो मिलेगा ही नहीं. तो आप वहां से टॉपिक आइडेंटिफाई करो कि क्या इंपॉर्टेंट चल रहा है न्यूज में, एंड देन उसके ऊपर अपने आप रिसर्च करके या तो किसी और सोर्स से या गूगल करके उस पे या किसी बुक से उस पे अपने नोट्स बनाओ. एडिटोरियल से डायरेक्टली नोट्स बनाने का ज्यादा पॉइंट नहीं है, अदर देन कोई स्कीम नहीं अनाउंस हुई है या कुछ, तो वो भी स्कीम का नाम या किस स्टेट्स में वो स्कीम है, उससे ज्यादा उसका कोई रेलेवेंस नहीं है. आपको वो सब जब आप कंपाइलेशन या आंसर राइटिंग करोगे वो आपको मिल जाएगा. टॉपिक्स इंपॉर्टेंट क्या है वो आप आइडेंटिफाई कर सकते हो.
जी मैम. मैम और नेक्स्ट क्वेश्चन ये था कि मैम जैसे हम एशियंट हिस्ट्री के लिए आई एम रीडिंग आर.एस. शर्मा, तो मैम तमिलनाडु बोर्ड और आर.एस. शर्मा में से मैम दोनों रीड करूं कि आर.एस. शर्मा इज इनफ.
तमिलनाडु बोर्ड रीड करना इज वेरी इंपॉर्टेंट, पहले वो कर लो. टाइम मिले तो आर.एस. शर्मा इज ऑल्सो वेरी गुड. तो आर.एस. शर्मा पढ़ने में मेरी रीडिंग स्पीड ज्यादा है, आर.एस. शर्मा पढ़ने में ज्यादा टाइम लगता नहीं है क्योंकि बहुत इजी लैंग्वेज में लिखी हुई है. तो उसको रीड करो, बट उसके साथ रीड करते करते नोट्स बना लेना, क्योंकि उसको दोबारा पढ़ने का पॉइंट नहीं है. सेम विद तमिलनाडु, सेम विद आर.एस. शर्मा. तो दोनों बुक्स को मिला के 30 पेजेस से ज्यादा के नोट 30-40 पेज से ज्यादा के नोट्स नहीं बनाने हैं. दोनों पढ़ सकते हो तो पढ़ लेना. अदर देन दैट 11th क्लास की एनसीईआरटी आती है फाइन आर्ट्स की, वो बहुत जरूरी है. और उसमें एक चीज क्या है कि जो फोटोज दे रखी हैं उनके नीचे भी कुछ फैक्ट्स है जो कि टेक्स्ट में नहीं दे रखे, तो उनको भी आइडेंटिफाई करके अगर लिख लोगे तो दैट इज ऑल्सो इम्पोर्टेंट. और उसमें जो बैक चैप्टर के एंड में क्वेश्चंस हैं वो मेंस के लिए इम्पोर्टेंट हो सकते हैं.
मैम और जो जैसे हम नोट्स मेकिंग करते हैं, तो नोट्स मेकिंग ऑफ ऑल सब्जेक्ट्स इज नेसेसरी एज आई हैवंट प्रिपेयर्ड. मैम एंशिएंट के जैसे एंशिएंट और मेडिएवल के आई हैवंट प्रिपेयर्ड एनी नोट्स, आई एम जस्ट रीडिंग इट मल्टीपल टाइम्स.
उसके नोट्स बनाना जरूरी है क्योंकि उसमें आपसे स्पेसिफिक नाम या स्पेसिफिक जगह या डेट पूछ लेते हैं कई बार, तो वो ऐसे याद नहीं होगा. उसके बना लेना ताकि फटाफट यू कैन रीड एंड कीप गोइंग थ्रू इट. तो उसके इम्पोर्टेंट है. बाकी इकोनॉमिक्स में इतना इम्पोर्टेंट नहीं है नोट्स बनाना.
जी मैम.
पॉलिटी में नोट्स बनाना इम्पोर्टेंट नहीं है. आई एम श्योर लक्ष्मीकांत पढ़ रहे होगे पॉलिटी के लिए.
यस मैम.
है ना. तो लक्ष्मीकांत में हर लाइन इम्पोर्टेंट है, उसके नोट्स क्या ही बनाने हैं.
जी मैम.
तो उसके नोट्स बनाने की जरूरत नहीं है. और लक्ष्मीकांत के बारे में एक चीज ये, जो उसमें चैप्टर के एंड में फुट नोट्स दिए होते हैं उसमें भी
जी
कुछ
मैम।
रेलेवेंट इंफॉर्मेशन होती है, तो उसको भी
जी
एक
जी
बार
मैम।
पढ़ लेना। तो
जी मैम।
हर सब्जेक्ट के नोट्स बनाने की जरूरत नहीं है।
मैम मुझे
ओके
ये पूछना था मैम, जैसे हम बुक लक्ष्मीकांत को मैम जितनी भी बार हम पढ़ते हैं कुछ ना कुछ उसमें से न्यू निकल ही आता है, कुछ न्यू इन्फॉर्मेशन कितनी बार रीड कर लिया, पर जब नेक्स्ट टाइम दोबारा रीड करने बैठते हैं तो कुछ ना कुछ न्यू चीजें निकल आती है।
तो
तो मैम
दैट्स अ गुड थिंग ना, कि हर बार जब भी पढ़ रहे हो तो कुछ ना कुछ ऐसा मिल रहा है जो पिछली बार मिस आउट हो गया था, तो नॉलेज पूल बढ़ रहा है। बिकॉज वो लोग क्या पूछ लें तो अच्छा है, ठीक है, एक और बार पढ़ लिया, नई इन्फॉर्मेशन मिल गई, माइट हेल्प यू लेटर ऑन।
जी मैम।
थैंक यू स्वाति
थैंक यू मैम।
थैंक यू वैशाली now we have Vaishali Hinwar yes
Having just
Vaishali
found out that I'm getting confused in my optional. I have selected 3 options: history, geography, and sociology. But I'm just a bit confused that which optional should I select these 3 subjects. I found many of the toppers strategy that many of them are telling everything good about the options. So what should I do? Can you please help me out?
So I would suggest you go through the syllabus for all 3 optionals, and then you go through the past years for all 3 optionals. When you look
Yes,
at
ma'am.
the questions, you will realize what you can answer, what you can't answer. And if like you can pick a technical subject or if you can't pick a technical subject. So I think
Okay.
that will help you better if you know ki what kind of questions they actually ask, what to expect in the exam, and what the syllabus is like, if you can do it or not. I think that will
Okay.
help. Don't go on what somebody else is saying. Base it on what is in front of you, the syllabus. Read, if you can get access to a couple of notes for those subjects, try going through them, see if you can read them, see if you can understand them. For example, in history, you'd have to learn up a lot of facts. Can you do that? In
Yes, yes.
geography, there are a lot of technical questions. Can you handle the technical part? In sociology, there are a lot of theories. Can you read that up? Can you remember those? Can you apply those? And
Yes,
then look
yes.
at the questions that they ask in the exam and see what you can do best and then choose it.
Okay, ma'am. And ma'am, one more thing, I'm having question about economics. So right now I'm preferring only 12th standard economics for GS papers. So is it sufficient or I need to add some more books?
Economics, mostly questions they ask from current affairs, and when you
Okay.
do your mains answer writing, you will get enough material. Current affair notes or notes from other places, definitely that one NCERT is not sufficient.
Okay, ma'am.
You have to expand your sources for economics.
Okay, ma'am. So 11th, 12th is sufficient or I need to take Shankar IAS book?
You can take that. Do you have a background in economics?
Yes, ma'am. I'm already a commerce student.
Okay, so you already know a lot of it. I think
Yes,
you'll be
ma'am.
able to do it, mainly current affairs and again, current affairs to identify the topic. And since you already have a background in economics, you can figure out what kind of answers you can make and get notes from online sources. I use Civil's Daily. They used to have this GS1, GS2, GS3, and different topics.
Yes,
They had
yes.
notes on that. I use that quite a lot.
Okay, ma'am. What about CSAT? What will be the sources for it?
For
And what is the
CSAT,
sufficient time to start?
CSAT, you can start doing like 2 months before the prelims
Okay.
and like do it 2 hours every day. And I just followed this quantitative aptitude book by R.S. Agarwal, I think, or R.S.
Okay,
Sharma,
ma'am.
R.S. Agarwal maybe. So I just did questions from that. I used to practice those questions for the mathematics and quant part.
Okay, ma'am.
And English, I don't think you can prepare for that.
Okay, ma'am. Fine. Okay, ma'am. Thank you so
thank you
much. Nice
Vaishali
to talk to you. Thank you, sir.
so now we have Ashwini if you can ask your question.
Good afternoon, sir.
Yeah Ashwini, hi, good afternoon.
Good afternoon, ma'am.
Good afternoon.
मैम मेरा ये क्वेश्चन है मैम, कितना करंट अफेयर मतलब कितने महीने का करंट अफेयर असेंशियल है यूपीएससी के लिए?
1.5 साल।
1.5 साल। और मैम जितना इकोनॉमिक सर्वे का क्या रेलेवेंस है मैम इसमें?
इकोनॉमिक सर्वे से वो बहुत स्पेसिफिक फैक्ट्स पूछते हैं। अगर आपका ऑप्शनल इकोनॉमिक्स नहीं है तो पूरा इकोनॉमिक सर्वे पढ़ने का पॉइंट नहीं है। जो समरी आती है बाद में, आई थिंक बहुत सारी कोचिंग्स वाले समरी डालते हैं, वो पढ़ लेना। एंड मॉक टेस्ट दोगे, उसमें भी बहुत सारे क्वेश्चंस कवर्ड होंगे इकोनॉमिक सर्वे से, उससे ज्यादा करने की जरूरत नहीं है।
ओके। और मैम ये ऑप्शनल का एक वो रहता है कि ट्रेंड देखना है कि कैसा चल रहा है, कौन से ऑप्शनल का ट्रेंड चल रहा है, ये सच है या ऐसे ही र्यूमर्स है?
कोई पॉइंट नहीं है इस सब में। अगर आप अपनी तरफ से आंसर ठीक करते हो तो कोई ऑप्शनल कैसा भी चल रहा हो आपका सिलेक्शन हो जाएगा, आपके अच्छे मार्क्स आ जाएंगे ऑप्शनल में। तो उसमें मत जाओ, कौन सा ऑप्शन अपने आप अच्छे से प्रिपेयर करके अच्छे से आंसर कर सकते हो, फोकस ऑन दैट।
अब जैसे मैम मेरा जो ग्रेजुएशन है वो मैम कंप्यूटर साइंस में है, तो मैम इस स्ट्रीम का कुछ भी नहीं है ऑप्शनल। तो मैम मैंने एंथ्रोपोलॉजी लिया है, तो क्या मतलब क्या कुछ तैयारी कर सकता हूँ मैम मैं इसमें?
एंथ्रो मतलब मेरा तो एंथ्रो नहीं था, बट आई थिंक लोग कोचिंग लगा लेते हैं ऑप्शनल की, टेस्ट पेपर्स देते हैं, पास्ट ईयर्स प्रैक्टिस करते हैं, जो भी स्टैंडर्ड बुक्स हैं उस ऑप्शनल की उनको रीड करते हैं, तो वहां से शुरू करिए।
ओके मैम। और मैम कितना टाइम ऑप्शनल को देना चाहिए?
अगर आप केवल यूपीएससी की पढ़ाई कर रहे हैं और कोई कॉलेज वॉलेज वाला सीन नहीं है अभी, तो अगर और रोज 9 आवर्स पढ़ रहे हैं तो 9 में से 3.5 4 आवर्स ऑप्शनल को शुरू में देना जरूरी है। तो अभी क्या जून चल रहा है ना, तो इफ यू स्टार्ट राइट नाउ तो दिसंबर तक ऑप्शनल खत्म कर देना। जनवरी में मेंस की पढ़ाई नहीं करनी है, जनवरी में प्योरली प्री का करना है। आई मीन अगर साइकिल वाई रहा, मई जून वाला एग्जाम का साइकिल रहा अगर नेक्स्ट ईयर तो।
Okay, I hope that answers your question, Ashwini. Now we have Ayush Mishra with us. Ayush, you can ask your question.
Yeah, so I have basically two questions for you, ma'am. First was that how were you able to sustain your preparation after the failures? So I was reading about you had two failures before achieving the success, and not just psychology but also financially and personally, having known the fact that lot is at stake in terms of career if we do not succeed. So how were you able to manage your preparation and sustain it?
I had a very solid plan B because I had done my masters and I had cleared my NET and JRF in economics. So even I think before I got the result for my third attempt mains, for those 2 months I was actually teaching in Delhi University, because that's true. You start to wonder if this will work out or not.
Right.
So at that point I started to teach, and for 2 result came and I left it to prepare for the interview.
So
Okay.
having a plan B
I didn't have that problem because I was already in service. It's important to have a plan B. It's important to have a plan B. And otherwise, the first 2 attempts, I would say every time you give an attempt, especially when you're fresh into it, you are actually motivated in that, oh, I made this mistake and that is why I couldn't do it. Oh, I can fix this. So as long as you believe that you can fix your mistakes and do better the next time, I think you will be able to find the motivation. Yes, it is important to have a good support system with you who will help you. Okay, no, we can do this. Like I had a few friends, we were all in the same boat. So we would keep reassuring each other, we know what to do, we know what we missed out. So let's just try it again. Let's just fix this thing again. So I think constantly improving the process helps a lot with the motivation.
All right. So doing this with a job is a sustainable approach, or one should directly focus on the UPSC in case he has an opportunity?
It depends person to person. A lot of people do it with the job. A lot of people can't do it with a job. So I've seen a lot of people, what they do is that when they're doing their basics, they will be in the job. but the year they want to attempt the paper 1 year before that, or like 6 months before that, they will take leave and then focus completely for those 5-6 months on UPSC and then give the exam. I didn't have a job, so I can't really comment on it as such. So
Another just one question I have, and that is, how were you able to justify your strong inclination to IFS? I read that you just only filled one preference of IFS in yours when you got the rank 17, right? And so how were you able to justify in terms of interview panel? Do the students with such a strong inclination like yours, do they have certain experience, or let's say points such as, let's say, foreign internships or any other thing related to that in their profile in order to justify such a strong inclination?
Not necessarily. So one reason I only put IFS this time was because I was already in audits and I was very happy there. So my life goal was pretty comfortable with audit. So I was sure, okay, if I get foreign service, then only I will switch. I did not want IRSIT or custom or IPS. So it's a very personal choice that what service you want. So I think that was the reason that I did not feel anything other than that. And there are other people who, my batchmate rank 7, Ganesh, even he only filled IFS and he was not even in any other service. So he was that sure that he wanted that.
He had a job posting in abroad, I guess. He was from IIT Kanpur.
He was working in India with a startup. He was working in India only. But it's like, why you want to take that job? A lot of people, a lot of my batchmates, they have such keen interest in foreign policy and international affairs that from their college days, they have been just reading books about that. I think a lot of people who put foreign service above other services, like 70% of them have that motivation for foreign service. They have an interest in all of that. I remember when I was in college, the UN has this international diplomat internship program. I used to look if I can apply for that or not. They never had any spots for India, but you need to have that interest to justify it at the end of the day to yourself. If you can justify it to yourself, then you can justify it to the board. Other than that, there are a lot of people who come for foreign services also because it's more comfortable and the perks are more. The work pressure is not the same kind of work pressure that you find in the IAS.
So on the basis of preparation of international relations that we do in the UPSC preparation, so if we give some extra time to the international relations preparation, can we justify that I am really very interested? For example, I am interested, but I do not have many points to add in my CV related to international relations, any sort of internships and related like that. Can I justify it just by having a little bit more knowledge?
Yes, you can definitely. If they ask you, you say, I started preparing for this. And when I was reading, I got so interested in international affairs that I thought this is something I could do. And then that interested me as a job profile a lot more. That is a perfectly acceptable answer.
All right.
Thank you, Swati. I hope that answers your question, Ayush.
Yes.
Now we have Chavi with us. Chavi, you can ask your question.
So, first of all, congratulations, ma'am.
Thank you.
मैम मुझे ये पूछना था कि आपने हैंड रिटन नोट्स बनाए थे सबके लिए मेंस के लिए, तो मैम GS2 और GS3 के लिए मुझे नोट्स कैसे बनाने चाहिए?
GS2 और GS3 के लिए नोट्स टॉपिक वाइज, कुछ नोट्स तो टॉपिक वाइज बनेंगे कि जो इम्पोर्टेंट टॉपिक्स चल रहे हैं न्यूज में उसके हिसाब से नोट्स बना लेना. पॉलिटी के लिए लक्ष्मीकांत से नोट्स बनाने का पॉइंट नहीं है, वो मैंने पहले ही बता दिया. इंटरनेशनल रिलेशंस के लिए नोट्स बनाए जा सकते हैं फ्रॉम न्यूज बट उसमें ना इट वुड बी बेटर और इजी रहेगा कि जो नोट्स अवेलेबल हैं, जैसे मैंने MK यादव के नोट्स किए थे इंटरनेशनल रिलेशंस के लिए.
MK यादव। मैम इंटरनेशनल रिलेशंस के लिए कहते हैं कंपाइलेशंस आर इनफ।
मोस्टली, बट वही कंपाइलेशन सब लोग लिख रहे हैं, आपको एक्स्ट्रा फैक्ट नहीं डाल रहे हो, तो आपके फिर वही एवरेज मार्क्स आएंगे जो सबके आ रहे हैं।
मैम तो राइटर एक बार रिपीट करेंगे आप?
MK यादव।
NK यादव, ओके।
M फॉर मंकी।
MK, ओके मैम। और मैम
इनके
जैसे
करंट अफेयर्स वगैरह के नोट्स आते हैं, तो उसमें काफी अच्छे से इंफॉर्मेशन दिया होता है, उसमें से देख सकते हैं। या करंट अफेयर्स कोई हैवी बुक पढ़ने की जरूरत नहीं है।
ओके मैम GS2 के लिए हमें नोट्स मतलब करंट और स्टैटिक को मिक्स करना चाहिए या अलग अलग ही रख देना चाहिए?
डिपेंड करता है। अगर आप, जैसे मैंने क्वेश्चन के हिसाब से नोट्स बनाए थे कि क्वेश्चन आएगा ऐसा, तो उस हिसाब से तो मैंने दोनों मिक्स किया था।
अच्छा, तो मैम सारे टॉपिक्स के लिए आपको मिल जाता था सारा मटेरियल? जैसे मैम सोशल जस्टिस के लिए
सब टॉपिक्स के लिए नहीं मिलता। सोशल जस्टिस वगैरह में तो ऐसा भी है कि आप खुद से सोच के भी कुछ लिख सकते हो, क्योंकि वो तो एक जनरल आइडिया आपको है ही कि क्या सिचुएशन है। वहां पर मेन चीज ये है कि जब आप कोई पॉइंट रख रहे हो तो उसको सब्सटैंशिएट करने के लिए कोई एग्जाम्पल, कोई केस, इनफैक्ट एक बुक आती है 100 मोस्ट इम्पोर्टेंट जजमेंट्स ऑफ इंडिया, उसमें से कुछ केसेस इंपॉर्टेंट है तो आप वो केस कोट कर सकते हो। इनफैक्ट कई बार वो मेंस में केस ही पूछ लेते हैं, कोहेलो केस उन्होंने 1-2 बार पूछा है, तो उस हिसाब से वो बुक अच्छी है। यूनिवर्सल्स पब्लिकेशन की है। आई थिंक मैंने पिछली बार अपने बुक लिस्ट शेयर किया था सिविल्स डेली पे, नहीं होगा तो मैं दोबारा से वो PDF शेयर कर दूंगी। तो उस तरीके से ही बनाना पड़ेगा, क्योंकि आप स्टैटिक उठा के बनाने लगोगे तो उसका कोई रेलेवेंस नहीं है। क्वेश्चन के पॉइंट ऑफ व्यू से बनाओगे मेंस के लिए तो ही कोई फायदा है।
ओके मैम, तो क्वेश्चन जो करंट में चल रहे हैं बस वही क्वेश्चंस आपने किए थे, है ना?
नॉट नेसेसरीली, करंट में जो चल रहे हैं वो तो है ही, बट कुछ टॉपिक्स ऐसे होते हैं जो आपको पता है कि इम्पोर्टेंट है ही। जैसे अगर आप लक्ष्मीकांत पढ़ रहे हो तो आपको पता है कि वो आपसे पूछ सकते हैं कि कॉन्स्टिट्यूशन की जो वैल्यूज हैं उसकी क्या रेलेवेंस है। अब वो न्यूज में नहीं चल रहा, बट आपको पता है ये क्वेश्चन कभी भी पूछा जा सकता है प्रीएम्बल की वैल्यूज पे। तो
मैम इम्पोर्टेंस ऑफ कैग, EC,
हाँ उसके नोट्स बनाएंगे। हाँ, तो उसके नोट्स बनाने की इसलिए जरूरत नहीं क्योंकि वो लक्ष्मीकांत में अच्छे से दे रखा है। आई थिंक लास्ट ईयर के मेन में उन्होंने अटॉर्नी जनरल के बारे में पूछा था, एंड वो तो एग्जैक्टली सेम का सेम जो लक्ष्मीकांत में 2 पेजेस AG के बारे में दे रखे थे वही के वही यू हैड टू राइट।
ओके मैम। और मैम
GS3 मोस्टली करंट अफेयर्स बेस्ड ही होता है, तो उसमें कुछ टॉपिक स्टैटिक हैं जैसे सिक्योरिटी वगैरह वाला, वो आपको सिविल्स डेली वगैरह पे भी काफी अच्छे नोट्स मिल जाएंगे उसके। एक 2 अदर सोर्सेज देख लेना। कोई सी बुक के लिए जाने के लिए कोई जरूरत नहीं है, जो कंपाइल्ड नोट्स मिलते हैं गो फॉर दैट। उन सबको एक जगह वो कर लेना कि मतलब कहीं कोई इन्फॉर्मेशन है कहीं कोई इन्फॉर्मेशन है, उसको एक जगह रख लेना। फॉर एग्जाम्पल सिर्फ नक्सलाइट्स पे क्वेश्चन है, कोई कहीं से कोई इन्फॉर्मेशन है कहीं से आधा आंसर मिल रहा है, तो उसको एक जगह लिख लेना पूरे को।
ओके मैम, तो मेरे एक हैंड रिटन नोट्स की कॉपी होनी चाहिए सिक्योरिटी के लिए, और उसमें हाँ, मैं राइट डाउन करती रहूं।
हाँ हाँ
बिल्कुल
मैम। GS4 के लिए जो है ना सेकंड पार्ट होता है केस स्टडी, तो वो तो हमारे प्रैक्टिस से होता है। मैम फर्स्ट पार्ट में से कुछ क्वेश्चंस ऐसे आते हैं जो हमारे कहीं भी बुक्स में या कंपाइलेशंस में नहीं मिलते हैं, उनको हमें कैसे करना चाहिए?
तो उनको आप अपनी अंडरस्टैंडिंग से करिए, क्योंकि वो भी जो क्वेश्चंस होते हैं वो कोई बेसिक टर्म होता है या कुछ होता है। अब जो स्पेसिफिक टर्म्स हैं वो तो आपको मिल ही जाएंगे बुक्स में या नोट्स में। जो थोड़े एब्स्ट्रैक्ट टाइप के होते हैं वो उसमें आपको खुद सोच के लिखना पड़ेगा। तो उसका
मैम जैसे गांधी का कोई कोट है, अब आप क्या समझते हैं इससे, तो हम क्या बताएंगे? अब उसमें हम सिविल सर्विसेज के लिए भी इम्पोर्टेंस बताएंगे या ओनली बस जनरल सोसाइटी के लिए क्या होना चाहिए ऐसा?
आप उसको हर एंगल से एक्सप्लोर करेंगे, आप उसको सोसाइटी के लिए भी बताएंगे, आप उसको इकोनॉमी के लिए भी बताएंगे, आप उसको हमारे पॉलिटिकल स्ट्रक्चर के लिए भी बताएंगे, आप उसको सिविल सर्विसेज के लिए भी बताएंगे। ये एक चीज है, आप किसी भी चारों जीएस पेपर में कोई भी क्वेश्चन आंसर कर रहे हैं, उसके हर एस्पेक्ट को एक्सप्लोर करना है, सोशल, पॉलिटिकल, इकोनॉमिक, कल्चरल।
ओके मैम। मैम फिलोसॉफिकल टाइप्स ऐसे के लिए हमें क्या करना चाहिए मैम, क्योंकि उसमें भी क्या सारे एंगल्स हमें ढूंढने चाहिए, सोशियो पॉलिटिकल इकोनॉमिक वगैरह वगैरह।
हाँ, आपको हर चीज को सारे एंगल्स बताने हैं, क्योंकि अगर कोई भी फिलोसफी है तो वो फिर पूरी लाइफ के लिए है, राइट? तो उसको आप किस तरह डिफरेंट डिफरेंट एस्पेक्ट्स में एक्सप्लोर कर सकते हो, आपको वो पूरा लिखना पड़ेगा। उसमें केस स्टडी या कोई न्यूज में कुछ आया हो, उसको इस एक चीज को लेके भी आप लिख सकते हैं।
ओके ओके मैम। तो मैम ऐसे की प्रैक्टिस कितनी करनी चाहिए?
ऐसे की प्रैक्टिस एटलीस्ट मंथ में 3-4 एसेस तो लिख ही लेने चाहिए।
ओके ओके मैम। ओके मैम, थैंक यू सो मच मैम। थैंक यू।
Thank you. So Anna, you can ask your question.
Hello, good afternoon, ma'am.
Good afternoon.
Ma'am, I want to ask that can we prepare for UPSC exam without coaching with self-study?
Yes, you can.
And so means I am in first year college. So which book should I refer to prepare for UPSC exams? Which sources?
I have shared my book list. Maybe you can go through that.
Okay, so what we'll do is this video will be posted on our YouTube channel, and along with that we will attach a book list of Swati for the students to go through. Okay.
Okay, thank you, ma'am.
Okay, thank you. So ARK, you have the floor. You have some question for us.
Good morning, ma'am. Ma'am, this is Ark. Sir, I am currently studying in first year BTech. Sir, my question is, ma'am, my question is, which NCERT book would I prefer, Tamil Nadu or CBSE? Because I am from CBSE board and I have read class 5 to 10 books already 2 times.
You prefer CBSE only, except the Tamil Nadu board history books for 11th.
Okay, ma'am. And from which class CBSE book? From 6 or it's better to 11 to switch to 11 and 12?
You can do it from 11 and 12th, 11th and 12th, because I'm sure you will refer to other sources other than NCERT. So whatever facts are there in the 6th onward books, they will be there.
Okay, thank you, ma'am.
Okay.
You're welcome.
Thank you, Ark. Thank you, Ark. Now we have Deepu Devan for some questions. Deepu, can you ask?
Good afternoon, sir, Anna. I'm very honored to be a part of this kind of program. Okay, sir. Okay, ma'am.
Yes, Deepu.
Okay. I am from Kerala, southern part of India. Okay, and then I am already started my civil service examination apart from 1.5 years. Okay, I am PG graduate from economics. Okay, ma'am, I have a question. How can we prepare not while reading? How we can prepare not while reading textbooks or newspaper? What are the strategies to making notes?
I would suggest that there are 2 kinds of notes that you will make. One is the factual kinds, which is just factual information that they can ask in the prelims, or information that you can put in your answers for mains. So that is one set of notes that you will make. It will just have 1, 2, 3, 4 factual tidbits like that. The other would be, which would mainly be about your mains. So that you will make topic wise and issue wise, and then you will put everything. You would explore that issue from all angles, and you will make notes so that you have a complete set of all the information that can, or everything that they can ask in the exam, you can answer it by just referring to your notes. Those are the 2 kinds of notes you need to make.
Okay. Ma'am, I already told that I am from economics basis. Then then what are the major difficulty while we taking economics as an optional subject?
So the main problem is when you study economics in your graduation or something, the kind of books you use are not the books that UPSC uses to ask the questions. They use slightly older Indian authors. And there are some topics which are scattered about, which you can't find in the normal textbook. So finding those is the problem. But to solve that problem, you go through the past 10 years, you'll identify the topics that they ask. And then you just find out from where you can get the answers to that. In the book list, I've mentioned for economics also which books to refer to. Some questions you won't find in the books either. You just Google them, you'll find the answer somewhere on the internet.
Okay, ma'am.
Okay. Thank you, Deepin. Thank you, Swati. Now we have Sonu Vashisht asking some questions with us. Sonu, can you ask?
Okay. Good afternoon, ma'am. Good afternoon, sir. Actually, ma'am, in last year in BTech Electrical Engineering, and I completed my optional subject, that is mathematics, by self-study.
Okay.
तो मैम GS के लिए मैम कोचिंग इज necessary or just I go for mentorship program?
It's not necessary. You can do it on your own with a mentor.
मैम रिवीजन स्ट्रेटजी क्या थी मैम GS के लिए?
GS के लिए रिवीजन स्ट्रेटजी ये है कि आप 3-4 महीने या 4-5 महीने लगा के एक बार GS पूरा कंप्लीट कर लीजिए, नोट्स वोट्स बना लीजिए उसके. जब एक बार कंप्लीट हो गया तो उसको रिवाइज कीजिए. उसके बाद टेस्ट पेपर कीजिए. टेस्ट पेपर के बाद आपको पता लग जाएगा कि क्या क्या टॉपिक्स में आपको दिक्कत है. फिर आप उन टॉपिक्स को रिवाइज कीजिए, एक और बार 1 महीना लगा के फिर से रिवाइज कीजिए, फिर से टेस्ट कीजिए, फिर से रिवाइज कीजिए. और नोट्स ऐसे होने चाहिए कि एग्जाम के 15 दिन पहले आप 2 रिविजन कर सकें.
Okay. Thank you, Swati. Thank you. Now we have BN Prasad asking some questions. BN Prasad, go ahead.
Hello, sir. Ma'am, I have 2 questions for you, ma'am. First thing, regarding prelims, when you are writing, it is being more like factual points we have to remember, ma'am. How did you work for that? And second one, regarding the mains, ma'am. I was always exceeding the word limit when I'm writing the answers, ma'am. How to prioritize the points which to inoculate in the answers, and how do you actually structure the answer, ma'am? That was the 2 questions for me. How do you structure? Is there any model blueprint you approach while writing an answer for every GS1, GS2, GS3, or how do you structure it? These are the 2 questions for you, ma'am.
So for prelims, there are factual things and you have to learn them. Yes, there is no other way around it. But the thing is, when you read that information multiple times, when you're revising it multiple times, you will realize. And sometimes the factual questions are such that you can use elimination method to also find out the answer if you're not sure about something. Sometimes the options that they give are so extreme that you know ki this can't be true. So that way you can eliminate and find the answer. The second question, yes, there is a structure. To start with the introduction, then whatever they've asked you do, you write that answer, and then you give an extra information, way forward or some solution or something. Within the answers, don't write long points. The examiner will not read them. Whatever major your keywords are, write them in capitals and then underline them. And as much as possible, try to divide every question into its political, social, economic impact. So you have a very well-rounded answer. Try to give names of schemes or some case study that you can figure out. No need to write long lines. If you can write small, short 5-6 word sentences, that will work. It helps the examiner also, and you can also cover more then you can do. And if you are still exceeding the word limit, you can make a small diagram and then just write the main keywords.
Hello, sir. I'm Harshali.
Go ahead with your
Good
question.
afternoon, sir. Good afternoon, ma'am. Ma'am, actually, I'm a final year engineering student. I wanted to ask how to devise the timetable, like the distribution for GS and optional. My optional is mathematics.
Okay.
So I heard you telling one person that you suggested for optional you should give 3.5 to 4 hours daily and complete till December. But for mathematics, you need more practice and more time.
So obviously it depends subject to subject, and I said that, and that was if you're not doing anything else and you're in your final year, and I'm sure you have to give those exams too. You need to
Yes.
clear that. So I would say you see what your comfort level is. If you can give 2 hours to mathematics every day and say 6 hours on the weekend, that is also a fine bargain. At the end of the day, what you need to do is set a target that, okay, I have to finish my optional in 4 months. And these are the topics that I have to cover. This is the syllabus. So, based on that, if it takes like 1 month to 2 months to do paper one for you, then you divide, okay, if I need to finish this in 2 months, how much time do I need to devote to it? And that's how you plan. So then you find room in your daily schedule. That you need to make a timetable and figure that out.
Okay.
But it's always good to work with a schedule that this much I need to cover in this much time period, and then decide how many hours you need to give.
Thank you, Harshali, for asking your question. Now we have last person, Prerna, asking us some questions. Prerna, go ahead.
Good afternoon, ma'am.
Good
I was
afternoon.
I wanted to know about the strategy of economics, ma'am. Here, economic development in GS3 is mentioned. So, as far as I heard in the YouTube videos, all of the toppers, all who have cleared the exam, they are speaking that NCERT are the basic books. So, after doing NCERT, are we supposed to read the entire book of Ramesh Singh in order to suffice the content of economic development?
Don't read Ramesh Singh. It is too heavy. It is not relevant for you. It is too heavy. There is no point reading it. You will just waste time. So what I would suggest would be, even in economic development, there are some minor topics that are mentioned in the syllabus, right? So that's one thing for everybody, that in the syllabus, when you pick up the syllabus for mains, you will see that under every heading there are tiny topics that they have given. Cover every single topic. Find information on every single topic. So even in that, when you're studying economic development, either Google it or go through some other source like Civils Daily or some other website or something, and make notes from that, from different topics. Don't go for books like Ramesh Singh or anything. Do it on a very,
Right. And
it's very fun.
so, ma'am, by googling things and by reading only NCERT, will we be able to suffice the content for the GS paper 3 for the as far as the economics is concerned?
Yeah, see, mostly what they do is they ask current affair questions in GS3. Especially for economics, they ask you current affairs questions. So you would have already read a lot about that topic anyways. So what you need to do is, there are certain basic things that you can apply in economic development in almost everything. Like, you have to talk about the resources, you have to talk about the plan, you have to talk about timing, you have to talk about uh, what are the alternatives available, and all of that. Do you have the skill, etc., etc.? What is the social impact? So you have to put in all of that. Whatever extra knowledge, whatever you're reading in your current or other sources, you would find that. What you need to do is write that answer, write that format for that answer, and just fit in that information in different places.
Okay. Thank you, Swati. Yeah, guys, what we'll do is, Swati ma'am has limited time. I will be available. So, Swati, thanks a lot for spending some time with us, guiding the students, answering their queries. And we know that you have very limited time, but thanks for sharing this time with us. And it has been like, your story itself is an inspiration and a kind of motivation, how consistency is required to qualify this exam. And thank you for sharing your time. If you have any parting thoughts, we are more than happy to hear them.
Thank you so much. I would just like to say that you have to keep at it. You have to believe that you'll do it. You can't say, oh, mujhse ho nahi raha, I'm just going to give up, because sometimes it's hard. The exam is not just based on your hard work. There's a lot of luck involved. So if not this time, then next time. So you just have to keep at it, but you also have to recognize where you're making the mistakes and fix those. And planning is very important. So plan your entire year, plan every subject, plan every week, plan every month, and then plan every day also.
Yeah.
Good luck to everybody.
Thanks a lot, Swati. Thank you. Thank you.
Welcome. Thank you.
So I am available here. So we can start a Q&A with me if you have any questions. Yes, Jay Prakash. Yes, you had some questions.
Yes, sir. My optional is economics. I just want to know because when I see 2020's economics optional paper, question paper, there is some question which is kind of out of syllabus. Like if you see the previous year question paper, you won't see the pattern. You won't see the trend because, for example, they have asked post-Keynesian approaches to horizontalist and structuralist theories and all. So how do we foresee such kind of trend in the upcoming years? Because I'm gonna give next year, 2022.
Okay.
So how should I embrace? Because this is coming in the first compulsory question.
Okay. So Jay Prakash, see what happens is, there will always be outlier question, be it prelims, be it a GS mains, or be it an optional. Okay. Now, if you start running after outlier questions, your core studies will be impacted. Okay. UPSC will always throw bouncers, and you cannot play bouncers every time. You have to duck in those bouncers. Okay. It's okay. For example, like, see, ma'am's story is there. She left 35 marks question this year itself. Like earlier, she used to live when she missed in 2000, like in second attempt when she missed by 4 marks, she left around 125 marks paper. Okay. So don't run after these outlier questions. Prepare your basic and standard questions. Prepare your answers based on that, your optional on that. And when outlier question comes, it's outlier for everyone. Okay. So, for example, in GS only Cyberdome project came. What is the Cyberdome Kerala project? If most of the students would not have heard about it, they just try to guess it and link it with cyber security. Okay. So this way, your approach you have to follow for optional also. Okay. I hope that answers your question. Yeah.
Okay. Thank you, sir. Thank you so much.
Yeah.
Excuse me, sir.
Yes, Ambassador, go ahead.
Good afternoon, sir.
Yes, Amba. Yes, Amba.
Yeah, I have two questions related to this. One's related to this prelims, and the other one is related to mains.
Okay.
Actually, I have lost 2 more prelims attempts. I did not qualify for prelims. This year, I'm going to give my prelims. The thing is that, sir, related to mocks, I'm a working professional too, where I'm getting hardly 8 hours of time to prepare. When I'm going on giving mocks, sir, 2 hours it is going for attempting the question, and at least 4 hours, minimum 4 hours, it is ruining my time to analyze the question paper where I have did wrong. And after struggling for this 5-6 hours, the remaining leftover time is ruining out, where I can't prepare for my subjects. Will it be happen with me? Is it happening with me, or is it happen? It will happen with everyone. Or else I'm taking more time to analyze this answer paper.
No, I would say that you are doing this right thing, that after 2 hours of paper, you should spend 4 hours in analyzing your paper. You should know which all areas are there where you are falling in. What are the pitfalls? For example, polity, if you are facing problems in center-state relations, emergency provisions, precedent, which chapters are there, which are your weakness. Okay. Now, what you can do is you can keep just 1 day in a week for your mock test and analysis. But rest of the 6 days, you can focus on your static part, CSAT part, or whatever optional, whatever subject you are reading. 1 day in the week, on Sunday or Saturday, whichever works fine for you, that you can do. Right now, prelims is 4 months down the line. So even every Sunday, if you are attempting in the month, you will be attempting 4 mocks or 5 mocks. So 20 to 25 mocks, you should be able to complete by the prelims exams, and that will be more than sufficient for you. Okay.
Okay, sir. And the thing is, sir, The second question related to main, sir. Yeah, sir. I got to hear that we need to practice answer writing every day. Where I'm practicing answer writing every day, 3 to 4 answers. Again, it is taking 2 to 2.5 hours. When I'm managing this mock test and answer writing, I could not able to manage with my static part to revise the subjects.
Okay.
So
So
can
definitely
I?
that a challenge. See, Samba, how you should do it, that always write answers of the topics that you have read on that day or a day before or a day before. Okay,
sir.
When you practice answer writing randomly, okay, then you will spend time in thinking about it. Two answers may take 15 minutes or 45 minutes. Okay, two answers should take not more than 15 to 20 minutes. If you are spending half an hour, 45 minutes, then you are wasting your time. Why you are wasting time? Because you are wasting your time in thinking about the topic. Okay.
Yes.
So pick up the questions that the topic. For example, if you are reading polity these days, then
Hello,
at
sir.
the end of the week. So I was saying that whatever subject you are reading, for example, polity you are reading, 6 days you read the polity. On the 7th day, go through the previous year questions of polity and write those questions. Go through the previous year questions of prelims of polity and then solve them. Okay. This is the right way to go for working professionals. Okay. I hope that answers. Yes, Ranjit, go ahead. You had some question.
Actually, I have cleared mains this time. So further, I have a question on interview rounding. So I need tips of interview.
Okay. So Ranjit, for interview right now, we are Civils Daily is running a free initiative that is a Transcend program for interview guidance. Okay, where we are giving material as well as holding sessions, as well as providing you with your detailed questionnaire based on your DAF. Okay. So what you can do is my email ID is
Where can I access?
Yes, my email ID is Ajay at the
Can I write down?
Yes.
Can I write down your email ID?
Yes, I'll message you. In fact, I'm messaging my email ID to everyone. If you have any other questions, you can reach out to me.
Okay.
It's ajay@civilsdaily.com. Ajay@civilsdaily.com. You can reach out.
Okay, sir.
At this mail ID. So we will enroll you in the interview guidance program, and I'll give you a personal call to help you out with the interview. Okay. Let's wind up. Thank you for joining Civils Daily's webinar initiative. Okay. I'm sharing a link for the top 550 program again. Only serious candidates can join this program, fill the details, and our mentors will reach out to you. Okay. Thank you, everyone. Have a nice day.
Thank you for watching the video. Civils Daily provides complete UPSC guidance with multiple GS courses, test series, and personalized mentorship. Please fill the Samanvay form link below to experience our one-to-one mentorship. Thank you.
Subscribe to our YouTube channel and press the bell icon on the YouTube app and never miss another update from Civils Daily.